nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. You ain't seen nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. I think there's something in the water. If you wanna take a sip, but be careful what you wish for. The faint of heart can't handle it. Everybody wants a piece of someone else's prize, but it ain't free, it don't come cheap. Only the strongest will survive. You ain't seen nobody like this.
Good evening, morning, welcome to SA Soccer Roundtable, depending on when you are listening or watching this here. My name is Harry. We got the full staff here tonight. Robert, we'll start with you. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm doing swell. Just hanging out, ready to do this. Let's go. Let's go. Ready for tomorrow.
Rafa, how are you?
Good. Just had to play my cool with my coworkers for this real rude, I guess, wannabe student. Hopefully we got that taken care of, but also looking forward for tomorrow's game. And then before that, the Super Football game, so it should be fun.
And then Royce with the red hot St. Louis Cardinals, who I heard on the radio swept the Yankees, who hadn't been swept yet this week. So congratulations to your Cardinals. How are you?
It was the first time in Cardinals franchise history that we swept the Yankees, which, given I think the other times we'd played the Yankees were the World Series. I'm playing hurt. Allergies are kicking my butt.
Playing injured.
We got rain for all of 5 minutes, and my body has decided to completely overreact to it.
So I ended up going with the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll start with the good. You know, there's a couple of things that were positive. We'll start one good. We'll do the ugly second, and then we'll talk about the game, and then we'll try to preview Loudoun United coming tomorrow night to Toyota Field, and then Las Vegas Lights and that circus will be coming on Saturday. So a full week for that here. So next week will be a jam-packed show with 2 games to recap and an RGV Copa Tejas championship title to celebrate here. So lots to do here to get to here. So let's start here. We'll start with you, Royce. Just the initial thoughts on the week that was, in San Antonio FC.
I mean, there's a lot of hype leading up to this match. Obviously, so I guess before the match, everyone's wondering, I wonder if we're going to sign another goalkeeper. We'll get to that later. Obviously, that was a point of need at the same rate. Leading up to the match, there's just a lot of hype. 1 versus 2. If you remember the past years where San Antonio has been good and we've gone and played the number 2 team, we typically do not start a full strength team. That has been a typical Marcina thing to go in there, how it goes. We did that against El Paso. We did that against Tulsa. So in the back of my mind, that's what I was thinking was, I don't think we're going to go full strength, but at the same rate, you want to see what you can do head on. And that was kind of the anticipation. 1 versus 2, that was the big thing. And ironically, that was only the second most important USL story that happened this week. But we'll get to that later. So, but excitement. Everyone was excited about this.
Rafa, your thoughts on the week?
The game was being hyped up, but I guess when I saw the injury report, I was like, well, are we just taking a little break? Because we know we're going to be on a long stretch this week with the mid-game week, and then the Saturday game, and then I guess you're playing 4 games within like 14 days, which can take a
We
toll
had
on
7
you.
and 3, so
It's
right there.
yeah. So I think maybe they was like, you know what, we're ahead with enough points right now that we can probably give up a game. Maybe they took the mentality, say, hey, we'll pick up the other games at homes. We can get those 6 points or 6 or 9 points, and we'll be fine. Because like I said, I know San Diego has a couple little tough games. Just to say, even though they may be the favorites, but they still have the obstacles with Monterey, and also I think who else they had. I forget who else they had coming up, but Birmingham, I remember. So Birmingham's been playing great, so I think they just like, yeah, we'll take this ahead and we'll just probably get one up.
Robert, your thoughts, initial thoughts on the week?
I would say sticking to the theme of the good, bad, and the ugly. The good for me is like that there's going to be tons of home games upcoming, which is super positive, super exciting. And then even the result may have been quote unquote bad, but the good was they fought. They fought for a long time, stuck in there, considering the limitations on substitutions. I mean, they fought. They showed character, heart. The result wasn't what we wanted, and but we'll focus on that later. But the ugly, the only thing I can say is the field. The field was ugly for some reason. Like those California fields are like, they remind me of like soccer in a cow pasture. The ball's like hopping everywhere. Wasn't the reason we lost, but it's ugly.
Yeah. So before we get into the game, I do want to, there was a comment here from Ditch Hasher, where can I find the recorded episodes? You can go to, hold on one second. You can go to YouTube and look SA Soccer Roundtable if you want the video. Spotify, Apple, Google Play. You can also go there. You can also go to satxsoccer.net. That's satxsoccer.net, where you can get all the videos as well as all of the podcasts going back for a long time here. So there is a way to be able to find our good takes and bad takes. If you want to go back and pull some past episodes here. Looking at kind of, I want to address this here first because this is something that our friend Cody Lorendi, former Oklahoma City Energy goalkeeper, now an agent, highlighted this guy, Grant McKella, who was with Des Moines Menace of USL League 2, saying, hey, this guy needs to be on a USL squad. And I was like, hey, we need a backup. He's like, have SAFC call him. Well, looks like San Antonio called him. So
we connected the dots.
They picked up here. So, from Kevin Bass and the SAFC communication team, McKella appeared in 7 regular season matches, 3 postseason matches. In the 10 matches, allowed just 6 goals with a 0.8 save percentage. And prior to USL League 2, he played collegiately with FIU down in Florida International. Down where the Miami FC is, posted 0.82 goals allowed average and a 0.739 save percentage in 2021. He has also played college soccer, with SMU, 33 matches, 14 shutouts for that here. So Rafa, or Robert here, obviously playing at SMU's, one of the top programs here in Texas. Your thoughts on the young goalkeeper? Now, he is signed to a 25-day contract. I did reach out to Cody just to kind of get a little bit more information. It is something, to me, it's something kind of like a 10-day contract in baseball where it's kind of a filler out, see how he fits along those lines. And if they want to extend him, Cody did mention that it would be something that, if both sides are interested to do, they could do very easy. Rafa or Robert, whoever wants to take it, your thoughts on Grant coming in and anything that you like or don't like about him?
He's a great pickup. I mean, for what he did in Des Moines and also at SMU, I think his junior year he had a 12-1-1 record. And so and playing in that tough conference, of that American Athletic Conference, so it shows that he's got some quality in him. He's 6'5". That's a big. He's got some size, and he may be a diamond in the rough, and like I said, how Messina has a connection with Des Moines. So Des Moines may have recommended him, and he's probably going to be like a project working, see if he can fit on the system. And I wouldn't be surprised. I think we may, like I said, I want to be surprised if they extend him out, because he may be that the keeper of the future, or a breakout, because that's how we did a few years ago. With some of the keepers we've had, they broke out and they've done great things. So just keep an eye on him. I think you probably won't see him play some games, but just kind of watch him during.
Hopefully, you don't see him play, because if he's playing, that means Farr's not
that's
in.
true. I mean, unless you're giving Jordan Farr a rest, and okay, we've already clinched this and that, maybe we'll see him. But I think we got a diamond on the rough with Grant. So we'll see what Coach La Madrid how he works with him, develops him, and see where he goes from there.
Your thoughts, Robert, as a former goalkeeper?
I mean, the biggest thing is, like, the stats don't lie. I mean, he has the measurables, and the biggest things I took from it, I haven't seen a whole lot of game tape or anything to, confirm what he's capable of, but I trust three things. I trust Marcina, I trust Madrid, and I trust Cody. So, like, if they say he has quality, I trust them. They haven't done me wrong in the past. So the key is, like, at that point, like, seeing how he develops, see how he plays out. And like everyone's saying, we need a backup goalkeeper that could, like you said, spot start if necessary for whatever reason. So it's not a bad pickup, like I said.
Royce, any comments? I know we're trying to spare you, so if you don't have any comments, we'll move on to the ugly, which somebody's already pointed out.
No comment.
So moving on to the ugly, which is the injury report / suspension report for the Loyal match. So we knew Patino was going to be out with the suspension. We knew Lorero was going to be out due to the lower body injury. Collier, I think most people thought, hey, maybe 50-50. It would be nice to have him without Patino, but he hadn't been. But Diouf, Collier, Jordan Ambayala, Ignacio Belloni, and to me, and Abu, who AJ is AJ. I asked AJ, before the show, I was like, hey, what was your thoughts on the on the San Diego match? And he's like, it was trash. And I was like, why was that? He's like, we didn't have Abu, our star mid person in the middle. So. The ugly to me is this. I don't know, you can talk about the second half, but to me, I think this plays into what happened in the second half for that here. Whoever wants to kind of, take the first bite on this, go ahead. Robert, Rafa, or Royce.
I would say the USL season is a grind, and having substantial backups is so paramount to like continued success. The big thing I noticed is, like, when in the second half San Diego made those substitutes, it just totally transformed the game, and we didn't have the ability to counter that. Like, it seemed like they were kind of hamstrung and they ran out of gas, and it seemed real consistent with, like, even the Sacramento game. Like, they played solid for a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden it just seemed like that the energy level dropped, and it got to the point where, like, they conceded, and then at that point it became like a 10-15 minute span of just, like, constant pressure that led to more and more goals. It seemed to compound itself. Like, the more we're pressing, considering we're down and with no subs, no energy, no gas, it just got worse and worse because the field would open up, and so did the play. I mean, it led to unfortunately that result we saw.
Rafa?
Yeah, just not being able to, especially like our forwards, not able to sub, because I know we have really good depth. They're not having Patino, really kind of change the game plan. Normally we'll play with a 3-forward system, but this game we play like a 3-5-2. And when you have Patino, he really does, and then he really does attract, as far as being defending, also with that deodorant too. So you kind of pick your poison there. Like, you double team one, the other one's going to hurt you. Well, we didn't have that game. And then, Dylan's kind of, he was a little hot streak, but he's kind of cooled off a little bit. And, I think that San Diego didn't see him too much as a threat. more with the Darren up top. So I think that affected it. And also not having Abu really, as far as like intercepting balls in the middle and the defending, I think we missed that. And I think he would have given San Diego a lot of problems. It's like last year's game. I think he really was one of the heroes for that game because he just kept them from actually starting any kind of attack. So those are two key losses having in the starting lineup because they do affect the system of play that we have. And like Robert said, is like, also the substitutions, I think we kind of wore out, but we held out for a half and so forth. So you're going to give kudos to those guys. And like I said, we can rebound from this. And because they still have to come to our place in September. And I think we can take care of business there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that because I do think that there God forbid if we go into a slump and they do tie having that 3 goals, in order for us to be able to make sure we have the tiebreaker advantage, we'd have to win 4-0 or at least tie at 3-3, and then it goes 2 points. But before we get to Royce, the starting lineup: Farr, Garcia, Kamari, Tainer, Manley, Maloney, Jordy DeLim, PC, Captain, Shannon Gomez, Samuel Adeniran, and Justin Dillon. On the bench, Nicky Hernandez and Saeed Abdul Salam. And then we had 4 academy players: Jude Bossart, backup goalie; Kai Levere, Henrik Sakshan, who went to he signed to college. What was it? Clemson? No,
Maryland.
No, Maryland.
Maryland,
CC school. Yeah, Maryland. So congratulations to him.
Yep.
Roman Holtz returned from his League 2 duty with was it Nor'easter, I believe is what it was, for that here. So a real thin bench. To me, and I know we kind of got together a little bit. To me, it was to me that third attacking piece was missing to where I think it was Rafa or Robert I think pointed it out a couple of times during our kind of watch of the show here is they were able to kind of really double team Samuel and there really wasn't that connection that we needed up top. So Royce, your thoughts on the lineup and I'm not sure there was a whole lot of options that we could have done, but anything different?
Yeah, I mean, basically this formation is playing for a draw. The only real outlets that you have is Shannon on the right, and you really wanted him to take control of the ball and to progress it forward, and to kind of try to turn into a third attacker in possession. And then Adeniran's supposed to be in the middle as the 9, and then Dylan's kind of supposed to be out as a support. Adeniran in the middle was double teamed the whole night. He did not get he was honestly triple teamed the entire night because their 6 even came and collapsed on him because they knew it was just going to be him and just JD up top, and they just kind of got smothered, and there really wasn't a good outlet for the offense. It's kind of a repeat of the first Phoenix match where we just did not have an outlet going forward. When we did have a little bit of possession, we got smothered because we were outnumbered. And eventually, the Loyal, I mean, there was no score at the half. It looked like San Antonio,
mid-60s, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like San Antonio was going to looked like they were going to weather the storm, and then it all kind of came apart. But we'll watch the highlights.
Donde está Beckford? That's what I want to know.
Dude, so I've seen on social media. I think he's rehabbing from something.
Yeah.
Yes, he's not listed on the injury list. It really looks like he's been trying to recover from something that's fairly long term. So,
but he's not on the list. Like,
I don't have a good answer.
The issue is he's not on the injury list.
He's just gone.
I know.
That's the problem.
I know. I
wonder if it's a hamstring injury because those can linger, or a groin injury. Those are probably the only two because he hasn't said anything about any surgeries or anything like Lorera.
But add him to the lower body injury count. Like, he's not even on there. He's nowhere.
And that's starting to become an issue because I saw a couple of people on social media pop up saying, because this was a game that's, Royce, you pointed this out before. this was a game that would have suited Beckford, and we needed him due to
Yes.
due to all the injuries.
Mhm.
And the fact that he wasn't in the 18, the fact he's not on the injury report, unfortunately, opens SAFC up for questions of hey, what's going on? If because I wouldn't say he was one of the he was a key signing in the offseason. He started out the season, but he hasn't appeared in 5, 6, 7 games now.
Mhm.
At least I think it was
Maybe Miami
was
has
it
our
Monterey?
last time.
Was it Monterey when he came back?
I think so.
I think it was
Yeah,
a
that was the
Monterey
last
Bay match. Was his last match when he had that amazing play that created the goal for when it was
Coutinho.
scoring it. I know it was it was Patino. That's right. The give and go with a PC. Yeah.
PC, yep.
No idea.
No, his last match. Well, he got 45 minutes against Sacramento. He got 32 against Monterey Bay on June 11th. 5 minutes against Oakland Roots, a draw, and the last match that he was 8 minutes in the win against Colorado Springs, which was June 24th. So we're a month
9th.
plus, 6 weeks out since then. And
Almost
he's only got 585
I will
minutes.
I will say, if you remember that Colorado Springs match, we had some injuries come out of that. So
Correct.
maybe he was one of them.
Well, to me, the point is if he's injured, put him on the list and people won't be asking. By not putting him on the list, it opens up, especially on a match like this, it highlights, hey, where is he at? If we had the other 7, 8 people, no disrespect to Beckford, we're not missing him. But this is one match where I think that they needed that more attacking style, and I think with SAFC, and you're right, when they came out with the lineup, came out with the thin bench, you knew San Antonio, was hoping for that 0-0 draw. It just kind of had that feel. They got through the first half with it, and we'll go in the highlights because I do think they were a little bit unlucky in the first half. For that here, where it could have been 1-0. I think it was around the 14th minute.
San Antonio is out on red card suspension tonight.
Talking about Patino.
We are underway. San Antonio in the white kits. It's the Tory Green.
It's definitely not looking as good.
Stutter step move here, long range. Coca Vegas off the post. Gets a hand on it. And Vegas will track it down for San Diego. Now Elijah Martin pushing. With the cross, headed down, taken by Conway! San Diego! They're looking for the sideline. There it is!
They even thought it was offsides.
Gomez Capelmon.
But they were questioning it. Those own players from San Diego were they were shocked that they said.
Evan Conway.
Yes. Spoiler alert. I don't think Gomez kept him on. I think it was.
I mean, look at that.
That's off.
Yeah, how?
No,
but
he's off.
No, that's not when the ball was struck, though, Harry. You got to pull it back when it's struck, not when the ball was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but you got to remember, you have to remember, it's the last player. It's the last player. It doesn't matter if it's the keeper or not. So if he is offside right there because Jordan Farr is away from him. So there's one person between him and the goal. That's Gomez.
It should have been an
offside. It's offside.
I think Gomez kept him on personally.
No. What I'm saying, what I'm saying, it doesn't matter if it's the keeper or not. There has to be 2 people between the goal and you. So if there's only one person between you and the goal, so Jordan can run upfield all he wants. If there's only that one person,
in the back of that, and this could be his
it's offside because Jordan is further away from the goal than he is when he kicks the ball. It's offside. There has to be 2 people when you receive a ball. 2 people to make it onside. If it's just one person, so basically Shannon Gomez counts as the goalie there, it's offside. And that's why Jordan Farr argues it offside because he said, I'm further away from the ball than he was when he kicked it. It's offside. So, anyway.
But before that play, also, if you saw the setup, PC kind of backed off a bit. I think had he closed in on that, and he would have prevented that cross from going in. There was a little bit space given for that cross, and I think if he gets on him, he doesn't make that cross.
So you're talking about
like a little bit more, and you'll see the play. You see how he's kind of right there. So he's kind of backed. If he kind of pushes
this
him
is
out,
PC, right?
I think on the next player, one of them, yeah. If he pushes him out more to the outside and interacts with them, they're kind of delay the play. He would have never sent that cross in. We just gave him too much space to penetrate inside the 18, and that should have been prevented. That.
Any thoughts on the first goal, Robert?
I mean, like you're saying, it's like they need to press harder on the not let them allow that service right there. But and there's a question of, I mean, even the guy himself is doubting it. Like, so there's some merit to what Royce is saying. Like he's even questioning the offsides call. But in the USL, it is what it is. I mean, it was close enough. There's a little bit of a theory called home cooking. Hopefully, we get the same concessions at our place. So we'll see. Like.
He does a snap header, comes back to him, puts it in the back of the net, and this could be his 5th game winner now.
Evan Conway, strike, feed from Elijah Martin. This one sent in.
It's the same play there too. We have one guy out there.
San Diego going ahead on the
bad defending.
Evan Conway.
Well, PC kind of changed it. He changed the trajectory of it. He headed it, almost like flicked it on. It looked like.
Martin, this one said.
That's just poor.
You can't have a 2v1 out there. You left Maloney alone. He couldn't really. You got to have your 2 players there defending. Giving not giving them space, and Maloney was just caught off guard there, and he didn't know who to get.
And giving up 2 goals in the 6-yard box, that's unacceptable. That's absolutely unacceptable. Two goals in the 6-yard box.
That's the thing that stuck out to me is I can't remember the last time San Antonio FC gave up 2 headers in a match.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
To get to Grant Stoneman's head, and
because he was in front of Tainer, right? So, and it was a good cross. Fair play to Loyal.
Put it in the back of the net.
So, but there's Stoneman right here with space. So.
Yeah, I don't know what Tainer's doing there, trying to kick it with his foot. He's got to take it with his head. I'm just not sure what happened there.
And then, this was Dylan.
This one all the way through Vegas, off the back heel.
That's how.
Right to the near post.
You know what I will say?
We just get one highlight on ours.
you know what I will say about that? It was on net.
Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of offense this game.
It was on net.
I'll get to the stats here in a second.
And that's the point I was getting at. The formation was pretty obvious. Hey, let's get a tie. Maybe we steal a goal. I don't think we were going 100% on this one. And I honestly, conspiracy theory in me, yes, you play all the games to win, yada, yada, yada. I think this was a fact-finding mission for Marcelo. I really do think that. This was a fact-finding. Let's see. Let's take as many notes as we can. Let's see how they're set up.
Just look how wide open everything is.
He's wide open because they're looking to go on the break.
They're pressing forward to try to get the, and it's so wide open, and we don't do it well in that.
Too much space.
It's too much space. They're looking to break. They're looking to break more than they are looking to defend.
Hey, watch him shoot it. That's why I went in. Look at the hop on the ball. It doesn't roll. It hops.
Yes, so good.
Yeah, a little bouncer.
It's like the field, it's like
all around really good performance.
And that'll do it in this matchup.
Because it wasn't super well hit. It was just like an awkward ball the way it bounced.
But fair play to San Diego.
For sure.
They earned the win. I will say this, listening to the San Diego podcast, Two Balls and Mike with Alan, who thank you for coming on our show here last week. It was a game that San Diego had circled And I think that does matter a little bit, because they wanted revenge and they even talked about it from getting knocked out of the playoffs. Where I think for us, it was just another match. And let's be honest, if San Diego loses this match, they're 10 points back. So they had everything to gain. And I think this kind of goes into what Royce is talking about here is you don't want to throw away games. Don't get me wrong. And especially against a quality opponent, like San Diego, but with the injuries, with the suspension, if you're gonna sacrifice a game, is this the one that you do it? The only thing that I was disappointed on, to be honest with you, outside of the result, was PC didn't get a yellow and Taylor didn't get a yellow.
Yeah, they should have ran and kicked the ball.
They're still on the watch, and my fear is they'll get a stupid yellow against Loudoun and then have to miss, the Vegas game, or they'll get a stupid yellow on Vegas and then have to miss the RGV match. So that's my only complaint. Like I said here, looking at the stats here. Click on here. Not pretty stats here. Possession 65-35, which not a big deal, but I think unlike other games, Loyal had 18 shots, 5 on target. We had 9 shots, 3 on target. That 9 shots from us is the biggest thing that sticks out to me.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing that stood out to me, and this is, to me, I don't think that we respected San Diego's defense much because we kept talking about how they leaked goals.
They leaked goals.
We each had 25 clearances. We had 24 tackles. 19 for them, 6 interceptions. So defensively, I think they were a lot tougher. Part of it could be, hey, we didn't have our full weapons along those lines here.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, like I said here, fair play to San Diego. They came out. It was a must-win game for them. Because if they lose that game, to me, they're 10 points out, and I know there's still 10 games or so, but that's a lot to make up, especially with how many home games that San Antonio has. Your thoughts? We'll go with you, Royce, here on the stats or games. Anything on the Loyal match?
Like I said, I even think 9 shots is flattering. I think that we just kind of try to go for it after that first goal, and things just didn't go our way. It was kind of one of those it's one of those quicksand games where you find yourself kind of sinking and just continually sinking, and that's kind of how it went. The first goal came off of you got to put more pressure. You can't allow that cross. You can't allow that play to happen. It happened. Okay, pick yourself up and go, and then you give up a really cheap set piece goal. Just not good. Just not good defending. Not good in the attack, and that has to do with personnel. Not good in defending because you didn't have your midfield. There's just a lot of things that were missing, and it was just a bad.
Night.
It was just a bad night. Period for SAFC. Good night for San Diego Loyal. Definitely look beatable. I will say that they did not look like world beaters. So we'll see what happens in the next case. But if you're SAFC, pick yourself up. Remind yourself you're a mentality monster. We got a game tomorrow night. Let's go take care of business. We got another game Saturday. Let's take care of business there too. That's it.
Rafa, your final thoughts on the Loyal match?
I mean, San Diego had to win at home. I mean, they have to win at home. I think the big key is, can they beat us at our place? I know that the whole thing about revenge, well, you're probably going to have to make a visit here for the playoffs here in San Antonio. Can you beat us here at home? And we'll find out. Like I said, September we'll play them. If we wipe the mat off of them, they're going to be scared of coming back over here because they know they're not going to be in their little confines in their place. So, I think it's a game we can kind of give up a little bit. We'll just move forward, and these next 3 games are very winnable. We can get 9 points, and with the Loyal's upcoming schedule, they may drop some points, so we still can get a little further off from them, going towards the end of the season.
Robert, your thoughts?
Kind of piggybacking off what Rafa said, like in my mind, this is, like you said, this is a must-have game. They circled on their schedule. The emotions were high. They're excited. Well, guess what? They play Monterey Bay tomorrow. they're no joke. They're not. I could if you literally told me that they're gonna draw or lose to them, I would not be shocked because that team is not. They're pretty legit. They're not bad. So I'm excited to see how they cope with the fact that they beat what they figured was their revenge game or whatever, and how the emotions like are gonna play out in that game. We'll see how it goes. And then the big thing is like I think we touched on it a little bit is like this may be the best thing that could have happened to this team. Little adversity. Let them know, hey, someone punched you in the mouth. What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna like fold? Or are you gonna step up and be that mentality monster that Messina preaches? I foresee the latter of the two because I mean they have a lot of character guys, and like you said, the stretch of games is gonna prove a lot of home games. I'm excited to see. I'm super pumped. I'm not worried about it at all.
So trying to see if I can find my question that I was going to ask you guys.
I would like to agree with everything that Bob said. Yep. Not worried. One of those games, good to have some adversity. Pick yourself up and we go again.
So I'm going to ask you this question, and I already let you guys know so you can think about it. San Antonio's lost at Sacramento. They've lost twice to Phoenix. And the one time, that they played San Diego, that they lost. I know Sacramento tends to be very physical, very defensive. San Diego, Phoenix, and this is when Phoenix was playing a little bit better before they hit their dry spell and couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Is there any common themes that's coming out of those 4 losses through there? And to me, what's concerning is between San Diego and Phoenix, they're at a -8 goal difference, -9 total. We lost 1-0 through there. So if you look at our goals, allowed, we've allowed 18. Half of them are to, Phoenix twice, San Diego and Sacramento. Any warning signs that SAFC should be looking out for, or is it just you could chalk it up to injuries, not having full roster, and unlucky?
I would chalk it up to like conceding semi early, or conceding first. Like if our team is required to press after giving up a goal, especially late in the game, that's when you start to have issues with opening up the field, like playing this offensive dynamic game. That's not quite our deal. If you look at all the wins against the quality opponents, it's like we score a goal, hunker down, almost become like a turtle, like defending the whole, being compact, and then having you press up to us and this counteract like your need to score a goal. So I think going down to a team that has like a dynamic or a lot of potential scorers sometimes is an issue. I mean, outside of Sacramento, I mean, they have a few, but I mean, Phoenix, they are what they are, but like, you can't kid yourself. They have a lot of like quality offensive players. I mean, at the end of the day, loyal too, but both of them have leaky defenses, but we couldn't expose them. Like you said earlier, if Maloney scores, the game is completely transformed because they have to bring their game to us. And at that point, it becomes a whole nother, it's like a boa constrictor. It slowly like tightens and tightens. You're pressing, we press back, and we get that second, and then it's over. I mean, even when El Paso, the announcer, when we scored on them, they're like, "Oh, they got that one goal. It's over." Like, what goal? Come on, like to me, it's like that just shows like how much they respect the fact that if we get a goal,
San Antonio's never lost when they've scored. The 4 common things is that they haven't been able to score. And I think this one to me was more like the Phoenix match in Phoenix the Phoenix match here in San Antonio, where just the lineup, like kind of what Royce was saying here, they weren't setting up to go attack. Along those lines, it was more, hey, we're going to defend and play for the point.
Yeah, pretty much the commonalities between the two, just kind of on the field, is that San Diego really sat back quite a bit in that first half. That's why they didn't get a lot of great chances. And then they kind of realized going through the second half that they could start pushing forward a little bit because our midfield, we had that gap between the the back line, or the defense and the offense, the thing that we've talked about. There's that gap. That gap developed. They sat right in that gap, and that's where they worked, and that's why they were effective. We had no outlet to go out. It was the same thing for the Phoenix match. Shawshag tried to come back, and when Shawshag came back, was it Collier or JD was kind of left on an island? Not that effective. Adeniran was left on an island. He would take the ball, he would hold it up for as long as he could, and 3 or 4 players would take it off of him. That's what kept happening in this match. That's what happened in the Phoenix match, and what the biggest similarity between the Phoenix match at Toyota Field and this match against Loyal is just a lack of midfield strength. So if you maintain a strong midfield and you can have your wingers go up and you can interplay with them, that was another big thing. We didn't really interplay with the wingers a lot to go up to give ourselves space. We really didn't. We tried to be direct. Didn't really work out that well. So that's the biggest thing. Stronger midfield to not allow them to just sit in the midfield and divide our forwards and the defense. That was pretty much the similarities between the matches, and that's kind of what ended up happening in here. And also, once again, we had a couple chances. They didn't go our way. Same thing.
I think your mic's off, Harry.
You're on mute, Harry.
Rafa, we'll do the final thoughts on San Diego, and then we'll do the standings, and then we'll do the kind of the game previews before we do final thoughts.
Just final thoughts on this game. Like we're kind of piggyback on Royce's. We just have certain key players. Like I said, Abu really kind of does a lot of the dirty work as far as intercepting the balls. We're missing that, especially for that, in that gap area. But if you notice that every time we play like a rematch, especially with the Phoenix game, we dominated that game. Even though we lost at Phoenix, we dominated the game. We just couldn't put it in the net. But I think this time around, when San Diego and Sacramento come to San Antonio, it's going to be a different result. And I think we're gonna really kind of flex our muscle there. And that's the whole point of this is we want to feel them out and this and that, kind of give them hope. But when they come, they know if we beat them in these games at home and they come here to the playoffs, they know they have no chance in hell. And that's what our defense does, kind of suffocates you and so forth. So I think Marciano didn't want to play his cards too much. I think he's saving the best towards the end. I think we haven't seen the potential yet of this team as like a lockdown, shutdown team, basically what OC did last year.
Tell them about the 90-degree heat too. The humidity. That's our trump card. That's our home field advantage.
So where we're at in standings in the East, Louisville, 49 points. Rowdies, 23 games played, 48. Memphis 901, 45. Riverhounds 4th at 43. Legion at 41. Then there's kind of a gap, 6-7. Detroit City, has been kind of slumping lately, down to 35 points. The Miami FC got a big win against New Mexico at 34. To me, I think those are going to be your playoff teams. Then you got, Tulsa at 25, Indy at 22. Atlanta United with, right now, 1-0 win at 19 with those points. Loudoun United, who we face next, 18 points, and they did beat LA Galaxy, although they were kind of shorthanded after Harvey got suspended for 2 matches and Judd got suspended for yellow card accumulation. Hartford at 17, Charleston 13, and the Red Bulls at 9 points. Probably the wooden spoon winner. Out west, San Antonio's up by 1 for the most points, be able to host the home field. So there's no more gap between them and Louisville City, really. 50 points. Loyal will close the gap to 46, although they played 23 games. Switchbacks, they're free falling at 41 points. New Mexico United 38 at 4th. Team on the rise to look out for, Sacramento at 5th. El Paso and Las Vegas, both at 33. El Paso 6. Vegas is at 7th at 33 points. But, if you listen to Seriously Loco, they're going to do their podcast tonight. It'll be interesting. Because I think they are on a slide to where I don't know if they make the playoffs for the first time in club history for El Paso. Galaxy at 31 points. Phoenix Rising starting to warm up a little bit. They've got 4 draws and a win in their last 5. 29 points, but more importantly, they're only 4 points out of the playoffs for their here. Oakland Roots, 29 points as well. RGV 26 points. Monterey Bay 26. Although Monterey Bay is starting to warm up a lot, we'll see if they can move up the table. And the defending champions, they've had a rough week. They're at 23 points, and in final thoughts, we'll kind of discuss their situation. It's actually going on right now, sort of. Between them and the city of Irvine. This week, San Antonio faces at home Loudoun United. They're 11th, 5-3-14, a negative 22 goal difference. Saturday, they face Vegas 9-6-8, even goal difference. San Antonio beat them. What was it? On July 27th, 2-0 in Vegas.
After 6 lightning delays.
Yeah, lightning delays, no lights. Game's about ready to end. Hey, let's take another break. Along those lines. Pools. Although SAFC players got to enjoy the pools after the match. I think it was Tainter and Garcia that was in the pool. Fun time.
Make sure to have some for the bunker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
We'll start with you, Rafa. Your thoughts on this week's matches? To me, I think it should be a 6-point weekend. Vegas, obviously, the much tougher one. For that here out of these two, but Loudoun's not one you can just let pass. Even though they are DC United's 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean, Loudoun's surprised some teams. Like I said, they beat Phoenix and a couple of other ones. But I think this game, us coming in, I think we're gonna have a little chip on our shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna take our frustration on Loudoun tomorrow. I think I can see us winning 4-0, 5-0. They're not gonna take these guys lightly. I think they have they want to make a point to the rest of the USL that Saturday was just a little fluke, and we're gonna take care of business here at home on Wednesday night, and then they'll take care of business again with Las Vegas, because I know it's hot in Vegas, but then they're not used to the humidity down here, so it's going to be hot in that game too. So I think we'll get the 6 points these next 2 games.
Robert, your thoughts on this week's matches?
Oh, like you're saying, it better be a 6-point week. And then the biggest thing about tomorrow is how the hell can you lose on $2 hot dog night? I mean, come on. Right there, that's the draw, that's our win, and we need to take it out on them. No, the bottom line is we need to be mentality monsters, realize there's some adversity. What are you going to do? You got punched in the mouth. Let's see what we can do and show, like Rafa said, we need to take it to the kids tomorrow, and then have it trickle over to the Vegas game and take care of business. Literally put them away and then move on, get the points, and let's go.
Royce?
Like I said, we go again, take care of business. We know what we expect. We expect 6 points. Let's go get it. Also, another big thing is keep your eye on the injury list. Also, oh, good Lord. I also did see
I came back with 6 hot dogs. That's why he's saying that. Go ahead.
No comment. Once again,
Saturday night.
No, I just got completely derailed on that one. What was I going to say?
6-point weekend.
Yeah, we expect 6 points. Adversity happens. Come back. Take care of business. Oh, that was the thing. Keep your eye on the injury list. I did see a slight update that may have gone kind of under the radar. But I don't think it's a typo. I think it's a legit thing. Davi Loera has been upgraded from out to questionable. So,
but we
we'll
don't expect him to play.
We don't expect him to play. We don't expect him back until October.
Yes,
correct. We don't expect him back till October. But that is a marked improvement of condition. But at the same time, Coutinho will be back. We know that. But watch the injury list, because hopefully it gets shorter, because it's, once again, a San Antonio FC theme for the last 6 years. 7 seasons.
Lower body injury.
Injury list is super long.
Those
Stupid.
lower body injury.
So, yeah, let's get them 6 points. Let's go. We go. Mentality monsters. Let's show it.
So, final thoughts. I know Royce is probably inching to go on this here. The big news this week, and to be honest with you, I won't lie to you, it impacted my interest even in the SAFC match for a little bit. Actually for quite a bit. Where I was like, I had to change focus. Is LA Galaxy ownership, Los Dos, made an attempt through the city of Irvine to try to get all the access to Championship Park.
To commandeer Championship Park, where the defending USL Championship League champions, Orange County, play their home matches, as well as
Cal United, Cal United,
and next season, under agreement,
team.
Orange County is going to start a women's team in the W League, correct?
Yeah, no, the Super League.
The Super League. Sorry,
that'll kick off. That'll kick off in the fall. So that's that's USL's test to see how the winter calendar works out.
Correct.
But yeah, so at least 3, and you knew it was a money move because LA Galaxy said, hey, we'll make up the difference. If fans don't come, no big deal. We'll make up the difference. So
what they said. So in LA Galaxy 2's bid, but it's LA Galaxy. It's the same ownership. The 2 key things that they said that I guess somehow sparked the attention of the city, which is embarrassing, is first of all, the public will be able to use the field more because we won't use it as much because we're only 1 team instead of 3 teams.
Only for 18 matches, yes.
Stupid. And the other thing they said was whatever losses that you incur, we'll pay for. Which that's pretty much just you're trying to money whip somebody. You think the almighty dollar is what controls the world, which is a very MLS mentality thing, and that's what they showed. They money. We got money. We could do whatever we want, which is exactly the reason the World Cup is in Qatar, why it was in Russia last time. Money and soccer go hand in hand. Yeah. No. And it's embarrassing that U.S. Soccer even didn't even intervene. They kind of left it to LA Galaxy to kind of do the same thing that happened with MLS when Austin FC came to Austin and tried to move Columbus Crew from Austin. It's going through the same crap. At the same rate, we have the same thing going on in Alabama with Huntsville.
Yes, Huntsville.
And it's
MLS. You've seen it in Huntsville. You saw it in Spokane.
Yeah.
And like Huntsville and Spokane, hey, there's not clubs on the field. It's a soccer wars, but it's not impacting current clubs. This is one where it impacted current clubs. Number 2, it weakened 2 leagues, but more importantly, Orange County, let's be honest with you, they won the title last year. I don't think they were the great team, but they won it. But more importantly, what Orange County's done the last couple of years is sell players. They sold, Kobe something for $700,000.
Kobe Henry, wasn't it?
Kobe Henry for $700,000 up to $1 million.
And
you can't tell me that's not the major reason.
Yeah, and Damas to the Swedish league. They have the partnership with Glasgow Rangers. That is an established club, and that's exactly it. They're coming after them. And the ironic part is LA Galaxy, as everybody knows, not in LA. And so it's obviously they're trying to go everywhere around LA, which is
because they're losing their market share to LAFC. Robert, go ahead. I know you've been wanting to.
No, I was going to say, like, the biggest thing that Orst is saying is, like, granted they were going to foot the bill. They're going to say whatever losses you get, but that's in the short term. The key to this sport is growing it long term. Like, yeah, potential future revenues. You get this 8-year-old kid. Now he's 9. Now he's 10. He's bringing his family. You have to realize the cycle of it. Like, they weren't thinking long term, they're thinking short term. Yeah, great, LA Galaxy will pay. And then what if they decide, like, you know what, I no longer want to be that exclusive tenant? Bam, pull the deal.
Yeah, that came on Monday. The LA, well, number one, we got reports that it got pulled from the City of Irvine meeting, and then after that, LA Galaxy kind of walked back saying, "Hey, we never really wanted exclusivity. We're welcome to share it."
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
they kind of walked it back, and
But it's just like it's short-term mentality. It's short-term. Yeah, great. If the city of Irvine accepted it, they're accepting the idea that like in the short term, in the interim, yes, you may offset the losses or you may make that facility. But who's to say those people aren't loyal? I mean, not the San Diego thing, but like they're not. All of a sudden, they're going to retract that. They're like, "Oh, great, yeah, we want to be exclusive for 2 years. You know what? We don't like it anymore. We're going to go build our own stadium. Good luck finding someone else." And then they've already kicked all the other teams out of it, and now they're back where they started. They need to realize.
Rafa, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea being Galaxy being there. I think they have no business there. I think they need to allow OC to kind of grow their brand there. I mean, if they want to put put LA Galaxy 2 somewhere else, put them out west, to San Bernardino, not San Bernardino, like more to the coast and so forth. But I think it's just a bad idea for them to do that. I think maybe there may be spiteful because OC won the title.
Jealousy.
But like I said, I
to me, I
understand
don't
it's a
think it's
brand.
them winning. I think it has more to do with OC, and I think this is a problem for MLS. Is USL, was it Widener in Louisville City? They had Jonathan Gomez or something like that. They sold this last year. Orange County, we sold Jose Gallegos. The problem for MLS, it's not so much the play on the pitch. It's that academy thing, and we saw that here in San Antonio when our academy got raided by Austin FC.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to go into there, but that's the issue for that MLS is trying to do is they want to be able to control the prospects. They want to be able to control the money that comes into the United States from the foreign leagues. That's what this is about. And then, obviously MLS wants to, mirror minor league baseball and have it kind of set up through there where you've got these parent clubs that control 2 or 3 clubs spread throughout the United States, but all the money filters through MLS. It's a money game. To me, it's as simple as that. And I'm not saying USL's perfect by any means, because what they did to Chattanooga was very similar to what LA Galaxy tried to do. But contrary to some fans in Detroit and some fans in Chattanooga, a lot of us did voice our opinion, saying, "Hey, this wasn't the right move." Just like when Columbus to Austin, this here, when it takes you can't impact a current club. Now the clubs down the street in Huntsville, Spokane, that's fair game, because that's we had that here in San Antonio with the Spurs and Gordon Hartman. Initially here, who was going to get the team on the field first. In our case here, the Scorpions won first, and the Spurs came and purchased Toyota Field after from Mr. Hartman. But other final thoughts that you guys have, or anything else pressing on this week here? I've got to pick up AJ in about 15 minutes, or I got to leave in about 15 minutes, so I don't want to seem like I'm pushing it, but we are at 58 minutes, and I know Royce likes to keep it around that hour mark here. So
real quick, just a real quick commentary. It's crazy how people that all of 6 years ago were really for the FBI investigating politicians for possibly holding classified documents really turned their back on the FBI, because man, that if they can come for the former president, they can come after you. Which these are the same people that said during the whole George Floyd thing, if you don't have anything to hide, if you didn't do anything wrong, you don't have anything to hide.
just comply.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Oh, darn.
I know we're not, we try to avoid politics. I'll give my 2 cents that you open the door. Number one, I'm shocked that they did it because number one, it's the former president of the United States, and once you open up that door, you can't close that door. So number one, through there now, President Trump did kick that door to where you almost had to step into it. But number two, kind of what you're saying here, President Biden does not want this going on right now. If you look at all of his recent accomplishments, he doesn't want to take the limelight off of them passing the, was it the Inflation Reduction Act?
Inflation
Chips bill, which he signed today.
Gun law.
The bill that we talked about for the vets and the burn pits.
Yep.
Gas is coming down, so things are finally starting to go his direction. He doesn't need this distraction, and that's what it is. It's a distraction, and I know tonight here, I don't know if people are aware, a congressman's phone also was seized by the FBI. So this is a bigger issue than President Biden saying,
correct.
"Hey, do this here." So, but
just remember this from the criminal justice side, because I have a criminal justice degree. Probable cause is going to equal to getting a warrant.
Yeah, that's it. As long as exactly a federal magistrate judge will not sign a warrant unless there is the most ridiculous probable cause. And what I will
especially
say,
against the former president of the United States.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that all of this, the cell phone getting taken up by the Pennsylvania representative, Mar-a-Lago being raided by the FBI, the only thing, the reason for the timing on this is because 2 years of texts and emails off of Alex Jones's phone was inadvertently sent to the prosecution against him, and all of that knowledge was
For the
given
Sandy Hook,
January 6th committee. They got that information, and it was pretty obvious there is some stuff in there that is quite juicy, and they're going through it with a fine-tooth comb. So I remember when, like a year ago, they're like, yeah, there's going to be a January 6th commission. It's going to be like 2 or 3 meetings. It's going to turn into like a year-long thing where they're just burning things, just knocking doors down. It's going to be interesting to watch. This quickly turned into NPR Politics podcast. Thank you for listening.
It's our civic duty.
That's correct. Number one thing, we need more supporters in the bunker. Let's get out there. I'm going to try to be out in the bunker tomorrow. We'll see how my allergies treat me.
I have invited, and he finally has accepted Spurs and Salsa. John is finally coming to the match after 2 years of hounding him, and I know other SAFC supporters have shamed him into coming. So why he picked the Loudoun United match, that I don't know, but hey,
I may bring my
114. He'll be on our row 114. So if you want to come out and say hi to John and Spurs, who does the Spurs and Salsa show, a great podcast about the Spurs, and he does he does a lot with the food around town. If you have questions on, hey, where do I need to get food, he's a good guy to go to. Because I know my area of town, but outside of my area, couldn't tell you. Robert, your final thoughts?
Well, for the sake of AJ being picked up on time, I'm going to keep it light. I'm going to
go heavy. I told him I might be late.
No, the biggest thing tomorrow: drink lots of beer. Matt, eat lots of hot dogs.
Well, don't drink as much beer as
kick Loudoun's ass. That's all I got. That's what the thing is.
Don't drink Marshawn Lynch level of beer. I don't know if you saw his shot, dude. He could really keep his eyes on
Nice.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch it wasn't just beer.
Yes,
it was something else.
It was some Skittles.
Marshawn Lynch.
Skittles.
It was a Subway.
Marshawn Lynch got pulled over at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh wow!
7:30 in the morning. Somebody pulled an all-nighter and then got pulled over.
And he said, "Do you know who I am?" That never works. The police do not like when you say, "Do you know who I am?"
You know what? When you're in
he did that.
Go Cabrera or whatever from the Tigers. That does not work.
Nope.
Do you know who I am, dude? Yeah, you're in the back of the bus. You're going down.
So real quick to finish up the NPR Politics podcast, I will say real quick. Does anybody know who made mishandling classified documents a felony? Because there's a recent president that made that law. Anybody? It was President Trump in 2016. After he was elected, one of his first things in office he did was he made mishandling classified documents a felony because he was going after Hillary Clinton.
The
And
emails.
someone's about to get hoisted by his own petard. So
he deserves it. No one deserves it more.
I'll do it for you, Harry. What's life without goals?
Well, no, I got one here. I got one. I'll let you end the show, but
whoops.
You want to go next, Rafa? Mine's kind of a I don't know if you guys will know who this person was.
Harry's the closer.
Just my final thought. Like I said, yesterday was a tough day for me yesterday because I lost my dad about a year ago yesterday, and so I had a lot, just thinking a lot about him, and I miss him a lot, and I just want to thank you guys, for this year to being there for me, and I had someone approach me about how was my mental health and so forth, but I'll tell them I have the greatest support system with you guys, and I couldn't do it with you guys, and I love you guys, and I thank you guys for having me, having you guys in my life, and I appreciate that. I also know Matt too, having him too around, just having that support. So I just want to dedicate.
Matt's a troublemaker. You really want to thank you to Matt?
But just I want to dedicate this show tonight for remembering my dad and everyone else who's been there support for me this past year.
That's good.
So mine's kind of similar there. Olivia Newton-John passed away this week. Grease.
Terrible movie.
I was at that ripe young age
That's a horrible movie.
When she released her album "Let's Get Physical" and her little cassette picture. We'll just say because I'm not old.
I
got that one with Michael Jackson Thriller. Those were the first two cassettes that my parents gave to me.
Prove it.
So she passed away, but she was my first teen crush, I guess you could say. So obviously, nothing like Rafa's and along those lines here, but Grease, the movie Grease was good, and like I said,
it was not.
It was a good movie, dude. Although I liked, my wife likes Grease. I actually like Grease 2 better, but I know I'm in the super minority when it comes
Grease
to that.
Is one of those dividing things where half of America doesn't like it, and the other half absolutely love it. There's no in between. There's no in between. There's either
getting a hickey from Kaneki, right?
Love it. So there's an audience for it. It's like Mamma Mia. There's an audience for it.
But to me, that to me is just like I can still remember that cassette picture where I'd fold it out and think young man's thoughts along those lines here. So
whoa.
So we've kind of covered everything from the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's pretty appropriate for this conversation here. But
we're digressing.
But Royce, we're gonna let you send us out here since since you wanted to do it really bad.
It's sure.
See you tomorrow.
What's up about goals? We'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go SAFC. 6 points this week. Let's go.